Hello, this video is going to cover what a strong naming convention can do for you, especially for reporting purposes. So I work in email marketing, and we pass our campaigns through our tool, and we name them in a certain format because we'd like to be able to report our metrics by different business units, by the type of campaign, by the language it was sent in. And this obviously could be a pretty tedious process if we didn't have an easy way to categorize each campaign. And so when we pass our campaigns through our tool, we put it in this format. So this is these are actual names of our campaigns. And what I've done here was color coded the first one. So this is actually a campaign name also. And what I was trying to do is help point out the different colors here. And so the first three letters are the business unit. The next it's UCID, and this is for our unique calendar ID, is what the abbreviation's for. And then this 4-digit number, actually goes down to 1 digit. It can be anywhere between 1 to, right now we're up to 4 digits, and that's here in purple. And that's what I'm breaking out here. This is my regular expression, and this is what using a regular expression to evaluate this pattern and grab each of these things allows you to automatically break them into different segments. So then it keeps going. Here's the language, and the first one here is English. The region, worldwide English. The type of campaign, this is a product announcement. Let's see, design tools, and then we have other stuff as well, but I wanted to simplify it for this purpose. And so what we have to do is to create basically, I need to put HPA for this one because HPA is the business unit for this campaign, and the UCID here would be 2027, and then the region would be worldwide English, and then it'd be language. And obviously doing this manually would be a very, very tedious process because in this spreadsheet, which I have exported for a relatively short time period, we have over 1,000 campaigns. So this regular expression, and let me bring over my program here real quick. Bring over my program real quick. I'm using AutoHotkey, and it's interacting with Excel, and this gets a pointer to the Excel spreadsheet, gets the last row, so I know how far it has to go down, and then it is applying. And here I was actually playing with it. This is the one I'm using right now. It applies the regular expression and grabs and says, okay, this 3-digit number, which is right here for this one, and it says, okay, store whatever that value is as SPE, and then look for a dash, and then look for the slash lowercase d are numbers. So a slash uppercase d means non-numbers. In this tool, this is the it's regular expression language for the most part is very consistent across different programming languages, but in AutoHotkey this is how it is. It's pretty similar across most of them with subtle differences. So a lowercase d, and I say here lowercase d, and take anywhere between 2 to 4 digits, because sometimes I had when we first launched this, the first 10 we obviously went through quickly, it didn't matter, but then after that we had 2 digits to 3 digits to now we're up in 4 digits, which lasts quite a while. They all end in A, so it'll grab this value and store it as UCID, and then then look for another dash, and then look for 2 more non-digits, store that as language, and then look for 3, store that as region, and then look for 3 more non-digits and store that as the campaign type. And then this just means also this part here, the period asterisk means, and anything else after it, that's fine. It allows you to look for that. And then what I do is I say, oh, okay, as long as it grabs something, so this is where this sub-pattern, and so see this CN dash here? I don't want to overly confuse it with the regular expression in the language, but it notices at the beginning of each one of these, right? And so this is actually this right here, and all I'm doing here is just saying, hey, if you actually found values for these things, populate the Excel spreadsheet with the different variables at the different cells. So cell B, C, D, E, depending on what range it's in, right? I'm automatically incrementing it. Pipe in the value from up here. And so let me show you real quickly here. Let me run it, right? So I'm just going to hit the button, and you're going to see over here. Oh, let me move this a little so we can see more. There we go. And what you see to me is just magic, because we used to have to do this manually. Is I can just hit this button and bam, it goes through. It's going to pop up here in a second with a message box saying it's done. Oh, sorry, it was something on the screen. So I have this telling me it's done. It literally takes, probably 5 seconds. And you can see it's gone through. And most of them, where the naming convention was done correctly, it populated it like this couple here. We used our naming convention. So you see the space here between the UCD 1433 space A, right? So that was a bad on our part, where we didn't use a naming convention consistently, so things break. And you can write better regular expressions that'll take into account certain types of errors. And I do have more advanced stuff that actually takes care of that, but I just want to keep this pretty simple here. So you can see how very quickly now, when I normally, of course, I'd have my other metrics here, we would be able to very quickly either pivot or start reporting on all the different types of SVA campaigns or LRF or in Europe. And one more thing I wanted to show was, we keep these very consistent also. So 3-letter abbreviation here, 2 letters here, 3 here, and for every option, so there are no regions that have more or less than 3-letter abbreviations. There are no business units that have more or less than 3 letters here. The languages are always 2 letters. The type of campaign is always 3 letters. And that makes it a lot easier to make sure you can write a powerful regular expression. They're always supposed to be in the same location also. So the location matters, the width of it matters. That allows you to really have a nice tight naming convention and to go through very consistently and get the vast majority of stuff. But what I wanted to point out was we keep that very tight because it really helps for our naming convention. It keeps the name of the campaign from being ridiculously long. But then what I'd say is, when I report to my clients, a lot of them don't know what DES means or what PRD means or what the language abbreviations necessarily are. So what I've also done is, in my little program here, I have this other one that does a search replace. And what's cool is I just tell it to go, in column B, from B on row 2 to the last row, B : last row. So it's saying loop through every row. And whenever you find ACC, put in account specific. When you find COR, put in corporate. So I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet, and what you'll see is it'll be updating these when I hit my key here. So you'll see it slowly populating, right, the other named values for first it goes through this one, then it'll come over here. Now it's putting in the regions, and then it'll go through. Actually, I don't remember if it does the languages. Okay, so it does the languages, and then more importantly, even the type of campaign is the one that most people they don't remember that. And what's awesome is it's consistent. It's in our data file. The people who don't work with email campaigns all the time don't have to have some sort of a lookup table to figure out what type of campaign it is and what the abbreviations mean, because I put in user-friendly words here. And also I've said, hey, if this thing broke, put in not coded, so I know that that this broke, and I can go find it and see if I want to update it. But you can see here it went through and renamed a lot of the stuff, which makes it a lot easier to interpret. Hopefully that'll point you in the right direction. The other really cool thing is if you're using SharePoint, like this UCID number is our unique entry for the calendar entry, you can actually hyperlink back to your calendar entry, because once you know this UCID number, you can put that in front of a URL and hyperlink this back to go automatically to that campaign, which is really helpful. Thanks.